Good day, my dear couplings. Would you like to order something to drink before we get into the latest updates on retail news? We'll cover various significant themes, including standing by your work, dealing with thieving customers, card denial, customer humor, and demanding customers. So, this one just happened like 10 minutes ago. I am in alterations and mending Tailor. A lady whom we can call Karen, even though the customers I have with that name are actually great. But I'll do it for the meme. Just came in to pick up an order she dropped off 2 weeks ago. Among those items was a t-shirt I was altering for her husband, who is now in a care facility. Most of what I do for people there is to split open the back on their shirts or pants, finish the edges nicely, and add either a drawstring tie to tie the back together, pants or Velcro shirts. She puts the items in her bag and then pulls out a new flannel button down. Someone had hacked about 3/4 up the back of it, very jaggedly, might I add, and left the fabric as it was. So it was getting all frayed and looked terrible. I figured that either she did it or maybe the care home did it and she'd like me to clean it up, finish the edge and make it look nice. Me, oh wow, this really needs some cleaning up. No worries, I can straighten up the edge, which won't take away too much of the size of the shirt since it has this pleats back here for extra room. Do you want me to split it all the way up, the collar too, like the t-shirt? No, maybe keeping the collar together is important, just make it look better. Me, all right, no problem. I'll finish the edge with the same material I used on the t-shirt, though, so we won't lose any size. I'll make up an invoice on the computer. Me, okay, your total will be $13.64. Karen, what? Me, a little louder. $13.64, please. What? Um, your total is $13.64. Don't you guarantee your work? Me, well, yes, for the first 30 days. If my work needs to be redone because of my mistake, I redo it for free. Well, you did this. I won't pay that much for you to make this right. Ma'am, I've never seen the shirt before. I didn't do this work. I never take my stuff anywhere else. I'm sorry, I don't know who did this, but it absolutely was not me. I would never turn out such a garment. I never take my stuff anywhere else. Ma'am, I did this particular job. I do this particular job a lot. What I do is fold it in half, lay it on the table, and cut a clean line straight through the back of the garment and finish the edges. I could never, in good conscience, just cut randomly through the back of something and leave it raw to fray like that. Are you calling me a liar? Yes, he's calling you a liar. I'm sorry, we need to remain professional. Um, Calming breath. No, I'm not, but yes, I kinda am. But I know with 100% certainty that I did not do this, nor have I ever seen this shirt before. I don't know if the care home might have done it or not, but I swear that it was not me. I will give you $5 to do it. Me firmly folds the t-shirt, slides it across the counter. No, I will not. Please leave. She snatches the shirt and her bag and storms out, muttering, probably cursing my ancestors, but who knows? I have worked at this shop for going on 19 years. I have owned it for the last 10 years and have worked alone for those 10 years. I remember most things that come through my shop. Hack, I even, oh, heck, I even remember a customer first last names, including hers. A moment after she left, I remembered that when she left the t shirts, she had like three or four other shirts she wanted the same thing done. Two, maybe the flannel was one, but decided to do the one first to see how it went before committing to having the others done. I sure hope she realizes that she was wrong and feels bad about it. Edit. She returned. She sort of gave an apology. It wasn't great, but I'll accept it. She brought back that shirt and one more that had the same treatment. I'll post a link to a photo of the one she had, wait, of the one she thought I had done, just so you all can see how bad it looked. Ooh, we get an image? No wonder why Charlotte gets so excited for images. Oh, that is horrible. Who does that? Oh, that is bad. That is so bad. I don't think this is a bad story. Okay, here's my opinion. Here's my opinion. I would rate this a 1 out of 5. One, because her husband is in full time care. She's most probably under a lot of stress. She's most probably scared. And, it must be very difficult for her to take care of her husband like that and then have to rely on others and then see how her husband is treated, if he's treated well, and this, that, and the other. So she must have been under a lot of stress. So I wouldn't call her a Karen. This is not a Karen. This is a woman who's in a lot of turmoil, and she's just like, this is just one more thing that went wrong in her eyes. So I don't think that this is a Karen moment. I think you knowing her situation, I think you as a shop owner could have handled this with a little bit more empathy and then be like, ma'am, look, I know you're under a lot of stress. And it was like, how about this? Why don't you sit down? I'll get you some coffee or I'll get you some tea or something like that. And then we'll talk about the shirts. Because I don't think this was about the shirts. I think this was just, she's under a lot of stress and mm, maybe this should have been handled with a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy, a little bit more care, and maybe just a little bit of love. I understand that you're a businessman, and by the sounds of it, you're one of those business people that don't take crap from nobody. And I do commend you for that. Like I really do, because if somebody came in there and just try to start a fight for no reason, yeah, put your foot down. But I think in this case, I do honestly believe a little bit of compassion and kindness could have gone a long way. But anyway, that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. But moving on to our second story, I hope you guys have ordered some drinks and some goodies to eat. And if you did, let me know how your orders went. Okay, so the next story we're getting into is a guy tried to steal a speaker by Shiba Sensei. Ooh, I like that name, Shiba Sensei. Okay, speaking of coffee, I'm gonna drink my coffee, which my lovely gran made me, and she put two little marshmallows on top. I've never had coffee with marshmallows. It's a very interesting taste, I will say. But the fact that she does it, it's like I love her for it. I don't care if it tastes if it's got a unique taste. It's the fact that she did it, she made it especially for me. I'm so happy. Okay, sorry, back to the news reports. A guy tried to steal a speaker. This is from a few years back, but I just remember it thinking about some stories when I worked in a phone retail. It happened one morning when I had been stuck opening out small store by myself due to the second opener running late or something. Unfortunately, it was also a busy morning when I had 6+ people at the door the moment I opened it. Luckily, Luckily, it wasn't my first rodeo opening by myself, so I set to work getting everyone situated before running the gauntlet of customer service. Luckily, most of them were just there to pay a bill when I got to the third person in line. Now, this guy was definitely on something. You could tell by the way he carried himself, his mannerisms, and the way he talked. I forgot exactly what he came in for, but he tried to get into an account he didn't have access to. He then turned to leave, and I started to help the next customer. However, out of the corner of my eye, I watched this man look up and down our accessory wall. For context, the store itself was a giant box with almost the entire left wall behind where he hung accessories at the time. The very end nearest the door was where we held our speakers due to how corporates wanted us to display our products. Now they were now they were locked on the pegs so you couldn't just pull the items off. Out of the corner of my eye, I watched this man hold up his jacket to cover him ripping a JBL speaker box off the peg, breaking the tag you used to hang it by before he set it on a small side table we had near the front. He then began to hold up his jacket again to try and cover it, putting his hand in his jacket pockets and lifting them up and over the speaker to look inconspicuous. I'm going to say that again. To look inconspicuous. There we go. See, I know how to pronounce words. I told the customer, hey, I told the customer I was helping to give me a moment before I walked over to the guy and put on my best customer service smile. Hey there, sir. Were you looking to get that speaker? I asked. The guy then jumped because I don't think he realized I had seen him take it. Oh, no, I was just looking at it, was his response as he lowered his jacket and back away from the item. Oh, all right. Since this seems damaged, I'm just gonna go put it up front. Then, if you change your mind, I said, referring to the damage he had caused, since now we couldn't hang it back on the wall. He looked a bit defeated and then walked out. I later told my awesome supervisor, who was on those close shift and watched the cameras, you could clearly see him look back at me while I was helping the customer to see if I wasn't paying attention to try and rip the speaker off the wall. We had a good laugh at it. Again, I will rate this a 1 out of 5. I don't think there's anything here that I can speak much of because this was dealt with so beautifully. It was like so smooth. I absolutely love this story. I don't think I would have handled the situation the same way this Shiba Sensei handled it. I think I would have just been like called security and be like, "Hey, listen, we've got a theft." But the way I think this is a lot better than calling security. It might not work all the time, but this was done so perfectly. Oh, this is chef's kiss. But yeah, moving on to our third story. No, that isn't my card by Thick Polish Boy. Well, that's a name. We recently had a lady lose her debit card in our store. One of our employees found it on the floor just a few minutes after she left. I decided to post on our local Facebook page that this lady left her card here, and if anyone knows her, to please let her know. We've done this multiple times before with no issues. About an hour later, I posted this. The store phone rings and I answered. The lady says, I saw your Facebook post. You need to take it down. That is not my card. My employer saw the post and they're freaking out. I say, I'm sorry, ma'am. I was just trying to be helpful. She cut me off and said, if you want to be helpful, you need to take that card to the local bank branch, not post about it online. You've caused me a lot of trouble. Take that post down now. I responded, yep, have a good one, and hung up. I knew from the way she was acting that it was her card and most likely a business card for her job. As according to Facebook, she's an office manager. I texted my manager and asked what he would like me to do. He said that since it seems like she doesn't want to retrieve the card, I can go ahead and destroy it. Oh. Ha. The next day she comes in and politely says that she lost her card here and was here to pick it up. Another manager was on duty at the time and told her that we disposed of it. She got upset and said she told me she'd be in to pick it up today. The manager said that's not the story we heard. The lady went wide-eyed and pale and immediately left the store without another word. Here's one. Okay, I'm just looking at it's like okay, I would rate this like a I don't know. Is this a 3 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5? Because it's not really, yes, it's a pain in the butt to get a new card. But if it's a business card, is it more of a pain in the butt? Because I'm pretty sure you will be able to replace that card. Um, so I'm just trying to like figure out. And here it says like I found a bank card on the ground outside a bank once. I took it inside and the first thing they did is cut it in half and then called the customer to come get a new card. Makes sense. Another one says what um wait, where's the other one that I saw? I learned the hard way that if you leave your card in my bank's ATM and it sucks it back in, that card is shredded in the machine. What? So there's no way for it to go missing or stolen from a servicer. I did that twice. Wait. Is this with all banks around the world or just certain parts of the world that if your card gets stuck in the machine, it just gets destroyed? Like, is that because if it's and then do you have to pay to replace your card? Because if the machine was faulty and the card got destroyed because there was a problem with the machine, technically that is not your fault. That is the bank's fault, and they should give you a new card without any, be like, oh, you need to pay for the card. Oh, 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 she was 100% doing personal things on the company's time and was trying to do damage control since her employer was freaking out. She probably told him that she wasn't at that store. She was working like a good little drone. She sucks. But onto the policy at your store. I work for a mega bank and deal with customer privacy on the daily. It's best to not post something like this on social media. Some people have secret accounts that they don't want their spouse to know about is one example. There are weirdos everywhere. What if she's running from a violent relationship and you just put her location on blast? Best thing to do is hang on to it and wait for the person to come back as ask for it. After 3 days, call the bank it's from and report, then shred. Yeah, I understand that. Like, I think that's the part that I'm not understanding. Why did they shred it immediately? Why didn't they wait like a day or two for the customer to retrieve the card? I think that's why I'm just like, wait, what? Um, but they honestly, they should have held on to the card for a day, for at least a day, if not two, and see if the customer would come back instead of making assumptions that instead of making assumptions that the customer didn't want to retrieve her card. But that is an interesting theory. I wish there was an update on this, or if we could get the customer's side of the story, because then we can get more context. But that's an interesting one, like her doing personal shopping on a business card that's her employees, and that's why she freaked out. Um, but I also don't agree. Okay, I would rate this a 5 out of 5. I've decided because posting somebody's card details on social media is extremely dangerous. And then you having to change everything, all your details, your email, your phone number, your this, your that, all your accounts. That it is like it is so stressful. It is so harrowing. I had to see my grand do it at least 3 times because her purse got stolen, her handbag got snatched out of her hand, or whatever the case is. It is so stressful. It is devastating. It's just it is not a fun thing to go through. So yeah, with them posting the cards on social media, yeah, no, just don't do that. Don't do that. I kind of missed that. I don't know how I missed that, but I did miss that. I will apologize for that. But putting people's information out there without their consent, yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that, especially when it comes to their accounts. And yeah, let's not do that, sweetie. Let's not do that. Okay? Okay. Moving on to the fourth story. Hmm. Okay. Customer got my joke by Lady Nico. Ooh, a customer who actually loves humor. I work for a local grocery chain that starts with an S. So, being the huge nerd that I am, I pull out the evil deed reference. Thank you for shopping at S Mart. Shop smart, shop S Smart. Oh my word. I already know one of my couplings is gonna love this because maybe two of my couplings because puns. I just why do we have to bring puns into retail news? I just, a customer was checking out at self checkouts, and when he finished up his transaction, I did my usual S-Smart quotes. The customer actually knew what I was talking about. He turned out to be an Evil Dead fan. He had pictures of his collection of props on his phone that he had to show me. I couldn't believe it. Almost none of my customers know what I'm talking about when I make random references. One gentleman was wearing a Nakatomi Plaza t shirt, and it took him a few seconds to catch up to my quip. So, are you going to their Christmas party? Then, when his brain caught up, he laughed. I don't get the joke. It's nice when customers get your joke, and if you've got like a weird sense of humor, it's even better. So for that reason, I'm gonna rate this a 1 out of 5. Because it's like nothing bad happens in the story. It's just like she found her people. Let's just say that she found her people. But if somebody can please explain the joke to me because it's going meow right over my head. But yeah, that is the fourth story. I don't really have anything to add to this. I don't have any opinions or anything like that. This week is such a great week for customer stories. I absolutely love it. It is so calm. It is so chill. There's no rah, but yeah. Moving on to our last and final story by Pretty South. Ooh, Pretty South. Customer finds a full price dress on the sale rack and demands we give her a 50% off discount. I own a high school end boutique. A full price dress was placed on the clearance rack by accident. I own a high end boutique. A full price dress was placed on the clearance rack by accident. Our customer tries stuff on and then put it back in the wrong place all the time. A customer buys it, goes home, and realizes she paid full price. She came back to my storage and argues she should have received a 50% refund because she found the dress on the 50% off rack. I told her that it was placed there by accident and that it's actually full price. I show her the tag that it has no sale stickers. I refunded her the full amount and we kept the dress. She goes home and texts me paragraphs back and forth for hours claiming I purposefully stealing from customers and tricking them into buying full price items. I can't tell if she's crazy or if she really just wanted me to give her 50% off a full price item or both. Okay. Okay. So this could be a complete misunderstanding. So you could have just said it was like, sorry, ma'am, but customers are constantly putting things back on the wrong shelves and this might have been that situation. You could have like maybe explained it to her like that, but knowing customers like this, they will be adamant and they will be stubborn and no, they're in the right and da 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 da. So let's just and also why is she sending you messages about like what? It's like no, how did she get your number? Like, okay, wait, you said you a privately owned business. Maybe that's how she got your number. Okay, block this lady. Like, just block her. Just don't engage. First of all, second of all, I would rate this like a I would say 2 out of 5 because it's not that bad. But this reminds me of when I was working at the bookstore. What happened was we would have this customer and she would take like expensive books and take off the original price of the book because the label stuck to the book. She would take the original price of the book. She would grab stickers from a sale item and put it on the book. And then because every single time she would come in, she would always get these expensive books with a sale barcode on it or with a sale price on it. So she would swap the labels. And and I never really dealt with this customer, so I never knew of this. My manager dealt with this customer a lot because she often went to my manager. And my manager started picking up this pattern, and then she was watching her, and she caught her doing it. And so it had to be reported to head office. Head office had to warn the other branches, and then, yeah, her face was basically put on our watch list of customers who steal and stuff like that. So it could have been she was trying to do something like that. So she could have, like, I don't know, put it on the sale rack and then say, oh, she found it on the sale rack. It could have been that situation as well, or it could have just been a misunderstanding. Now, I'm not accusing this lady of, you know, trying to, but that does happen. And like, I like the fact that you dealt with it the way you did. Like you didn't cause a fight, you didn't cause a scene. Um, but if you own a business, especially retail business, or if you work in retail, just be careful of that. Just be careful of that scam because that does happen. And yeah, so and that's how you can deal with it. If it's a private owned business, I would just say ban that customer from ever coming back. And if you've got security, warn your security and be like, hey, listen, if you see this customer approaching my store, please tell her like she's banned from my store and she can't come in. So if you do have security, your own security, just keep that. And then I would say just put as much cameras up as possible and make sure all the blind spots are covered. That there are no blind spots in your store because that can also be a problem. But yeah, guys, that is this week's retail news. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoyed your drinks and your food. Oh, and if you guys have anything you would like to add to these retail stories, your own experiences, your own what you think of the stories, how you would have handled these situations, and what you think of this week. If it was relaxing, as I said it was. But yeah, with that being said, I hope to see you next week. And until then, bye, my couplings.